Hey everybody, we're going to be starting a new franchise here today on MLB The Show. I feel like we did our job with the Astros, maybe not on this MLB The Show, but certainly on the last one. I think it's time we do a fresh start, do something I haven't done before, something really like a really challenging rebuild, maybe something like the Oakland A's, who have an insanely low $112 million budget. Um, Obviously, we don't want to do like the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Yankees, maybe the Rays. They are without a stadium this year. $108 million budget is pretty awful. They're terrible at pretty much everything. Pitching is what they're best at, and they're 20th. Their farm system isn't crazy. Let's look at the Rays, actually. You have Shane McClanahan, who was a superstar just a few years ago, didn't pitch last year. But I mean, this guy is really good when he does pitch. But then after that, it's a little, you know, a little spacey. Pepio was definitely their ace last year. Showed some flashes, had some good starts, had some bad ones. Taj Bradley has a ton of potential, but he has not put it together at the big league level in 46 starts yet. Shane Baz, always injured. Literally always. And then Zach Littell, another guy who was certainly a journeyman going into last season, and he was very serviceable. Though the ERA was slightly lower than the FIP. Relievers, Edwin Uceta is really good, we know that. And then they've got some other guys like Kevin Kelly, Drew Rasmussen, Pete Fairbanks is the closer. Maybe the Rays. They don't have many good prospects. Xavier Isaac isn't terrible. Brandon Lau is the best player on the roster. Jonathan Aranda's at the big league level at 63 overall. Junior Caminero is a super good prospect. Came to the majors at 19 years old. He's supposed to be really good. They did sign Ha-Sung Kim, so they spent a little bit of money. Jose Caballero is always awful in these sims, probably because he stinks. Taylor Walls, another guy who stinks, just cannot hit. This is not a big league hitter right here. And then, yeah, this team is just bad. There's no way around it. The Rays are bad. Low budget, tough division. You might want to do the Tampa Bay Rays, folks. The White Sox, obviously the obvious pick. They're everyone's rebuild right now. 30th overall, 30th in contact, 29th in power, 30th in pitching, 26th in defense, 9th in speed, but who cares? Super low budget. And they stink. Their best player is a 77. There is not a single player on this roster other than 77 overall Luis Robert who would have a set in stone spot on a regular major league roster. Sorting out this absolute nightmare of a team could be pretty darn fun. And I might just go with the White Sox. Guardians, lower budget, but I think they're just too good of a team. Like, they looked great last year. The Royals and Twins are too good. The A's, bad, but I feel like I'm going to stay out of the AL West, considering we've done a lot of that. The Marlins are another option because, my God, is their budget alarmingly low. $75 million. What? $75 million? Ari Perez is your best player, and he's only pitched 19 games in his whole career. That's 2 years ago. Sandy Alcantara is 3 years removed from a Cy Young, but he didn't pitch last year. Braxton Garrett barely pitched last year. Edward Cabrera. All your good players are pitchers that haven't pitched in like a long time. They're very generous with some of these. This rotation could honestly be a lot worsely rated, in my opinion. The bullpen is an absolute dumpster. Your closer is Anthony Bender, who put up a 4 ERA last year. Not ideal. Seth Martinez is here. Xavier Curry, just random players that are rated in the 60s that I know. Catcher, awful. You got Nick Fortes and whoever the heck Liam Hicks is, supposedly a Rule 5 pick. Rob Brantley still exists. I refuse to believe that. I thought this guy went extinct back in like 2018. Plays like 1 game a year every year. Apparently got 9 at-bats last year with the Rays. Good for him. Augustin Ramirez is obviously the play moving forward for these guys at catcher, but you're not trying to rush him. It's probably Rob Brantley who's the backup right now. Jonah Bride, he was better than expected last year. Davison De Los Santos, we know, has a ton of power, though in this game it doesn't really look like he's that good. Matt Mervis, bad, really bad. Otto Lopez is good. He was solid last year, certainly elite defensively. Could definitely be a shortstop. Javier Sanoa, I mean, he's something. He had some time last year. Certainly a player that can make the opening day roster. I'm really liking the Marlins and the White Sox simply because of how miserable they would make me. Graham Pauley, certainly 24 years old, a guy who can make this dreadful roster. Connor Norby, last year split between 2 teams. I mean, yeah, he's bad too. Eric Wagaman, 18 games, 72 at-bats with the Angels last year, was not good. He's a 63. These guys stink. Xavier Edwards is probably your best player. 99 contact against righties. Steals a ton of bases. I love Xavier Edwards. He just cannot field. Cannot play defense to save his life. Jared Serna. Don't know why I'm talking about him, because he's awful. Dane Myers. He's had a cup of coffee. I'm a Dane Myers believer. I think he can be a solid starter at the big league level, even though he was a late bloomer for sure. I like how he plays against lefties. I think they could have been a little more generous with his rating. Derek Hill is all defense in the outfield, and actually he's a heck of a bat against lefties. What? They made Derek Hill really good against lefties. Victor Mesa. I remember when this guy was a top prospect. Now he looks pretty awful. Griffin Konai, son of former Marlin Jeff. Don't know how he's a 76. 82 at-bats at the big league level has been just very mid. Jesus Sanchez is much better than he is. Like, way better. Yeah, maybe the Marlins might be our team, not the Mets. Look at the $364 million budget for the Mets, 75 for the Marlins. That's brutal. The Nationals are another team that has I don't know, they're pretty awful right now, but they have so much young talent. Like, look, 29, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 22, 23. Like, everyone is young on this team. And I want a team that kind of sucks. It doesn't have a lot of young talent. The Reds certainly could be an option, even though they do have Ellie De La Cruz and Hunter Green. Other than that, it's an absolute dumpster fire. Milwaukee's good. Pittsburgh has Paul Skeens, of course, O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds. They got plenty of pieces. The Cardinals are bad, but their budget's too high. The Rockies stink. High budget, but can't spend it on pitching. They do have a lot of young talent, though. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm between the White Sox and the Marlins, the 2 worst teams in baseball. I'm going to flip a coin. We're going to go heads for White Sox, tails for Marlins, and whichever one we get, I will be explaining how the rest of the franchise is going to go shortly. So we do get heads for the Chicago White Sox. GM contracts, we're going to go on. Fantasy draft is going to be off. Non-active free agents off. CPU roster control off. Trading, CPU trading is going to be ignore budgets is off. Force trades is off. DH is on. Extra inning runner is on. We're going to set everything to manual except scouting. That's going to be the first level of difficulty. And then we're going to enter games when the stakes are pretty high. We're seventh inning or later. Not going to enter player highlight moments. We're going to start in spring training. So setting up this team is going to be a nightmare. With the starting pitching, let's just dive right in. Davis Martin, who has 113 career innings, started 10 games last year, 9 the year before that, and has a career 4.61 ERA, 1.6 WAR, and 4.06 FIP is our best pitcher at a 73. Bryce Wilson, I remember this guy like being such a 4A guy for like 5 years with the Braves. Went to the Pirates, was god awful. Went to the Brewers, really turned things around. Now he's got a shot worth $1 million. Probably going to be our opening day starter. Jonathan Cannon had a ton of play time last year. Was so unbelievably mid. He's in the rotation, though. Drew Thorpe is a great prospect. He got 9 starts, was not good last year at all. The FIP didn't like him either, but he's like one of our top prospects. Martin Perez is making like the most money on the team, $5 million a year, which is nothing. But, you know, back in 2022, this guy put up an almost Cy Young level season with the Rangers. And so if he can channel something like that, he'll be on the roster. Kai Bush had 4 starts, including one against my Astros that I attended in person last year. And I can tell you, he stinks. He's not good. Jake Eater, 1 career game. Probably don't want him on the roster. Noah Schultz is certainly a top prospect. B potential. We want him in Double-A. Hagen Smith, another guy we want playing very often. We're going to put him in Double-A, actually. Yep, we want you in Double-A. Grant Taylor might be a Double-A guy. Juan Carrella, D potential, never played. Wickelman Gonzalez, 22 years old, certainly raw. Might just want to remove him from the roster. I feel like Jonathan Heasley is a much better bet. Trey McGow is fine. Sean Burke and then Nick Nastrini. Yeah, Nick, I'm sorry, man. You got to get off the 40, man. Sean Burke wasn't bad last year. You could probably keep him on. James Karinchak, definitely going on the 40, man. Same thing with Dan Altavilla. Hold on, let's take some guys off. Jairo Iriarte, Owen White. Owen White's going off the 40, man. Prolander Baroa. Prolander, let me make him a starter. He's definitely more of a starter. See what his rating is there. Yeah, he's a lot better. 66 overall. Cam Boozer was kind of good with Boston last year, not going to lie. Mike Clevenger, I most definitely want on the roster. He's a starter, though. Another guy who's just mispositioned in this game. He becomes the ace of the team. Shane Smith, yeah, you're a 52 overall, man. He's a Rule 5 draft pick. Well, I guess he's going to have to stay on. Jordan Leisure, he's a 52, got into 33 games last year. Don't know how. Get off my team. Brandon Eisert, yeah, I want you. Gus Varland, maybe. Fraser Ellard. And Jared Schuster. Not too crazy about any of these guys, to be honest. We're gonna part ways with who is the best per nines? They're all garbage. Varland is gonna go down for sure, or Schuster that is. Penn Murphy, Justin Anderson, both at the big league level makes sense. Dan Altavia will go on the 40 man. He'll play big league ball. Steven Wilson, yeah, he's got good hits per nine. Tyler Gilbert, I remember, threw a no-hitter in his MLB debut back in 2021. Everyone was going crazy about that. Now he's garbage, but he's going to compete for a roster spot for sure. Clevenger comes to the MLB. Kai Bush. Kai Bush is a big leaguer. Schultz, Smith, all you guys. Juan Carella, Wickelman, and stay. Jonathan Heasley might go on the roster. I don't know. Nick Nastrini is going off, though. Yeah, I can't have 50 overalls pitching. I'm sorry. All these guys got to go. I cannot pitch 50 overalls. We'll work that out. Kyle Teal is probably a guy I want in the majors soon. Don't want to fast track him, but certainly soon. Corey Lee, Matt Thias is the catching room. Definitely want to spend some money on the catcher position. Matt Thias, he's going to either go up there to the plate and strike out or walk to first base. Terrible defender. Probably because he's not a catcher, didn't come up as a catcher. It's something he adopted during his career, which just isn't a good recipe for success at the position. So, yeah, we don't really want him on the team. Edgar Caro is a great prospect. Omar Narvaez used to be good. 2021 All-Star, I believe. Yeah, 2021 All-Star, very solid in 2019. And then was even a starter with the White Sox back in these days. He's possibly an option for us. Joey Gallo is here. We know about Joey Gallo, and oh my God, he has 10 vision. 10? Certainly want him on the 40-man, though. He's going to play big league ball for us. Probably on the main roster. Andrew Vaughn, we know about him. Kyle Teal, I'm tempted to put on the 40-man, but I won't. Probably going to be Omar Narvaez. But I'm also going to sign some free agents, of course. Lennon Sosa, 100 games last year. Actually, let's just look at his career. 163 games, so a full season's worth. 229, 347, 604. With a -1 WAR. This guy stinks. And if he's our starting second baseman against right-handed pitching, we're cooked. Miguel Vargas is so garbage as well. He had a 150 with a 506 OPS and 200 ABs last year. Was not good, really, ever with the Dodgers either. And then poor guy got traded to the White Sox. -2 win player last season. That is abysmal. This guy stinks. Brandon Drury, I like a lot more. Last year was awful. Generationally terrible player. But the 2 years before that, he was great. One of the better players in baseball, especially at the second base position. 4-win player when he played for the Reds, Padres, and then Angels that year. You know, he was good for 90 RBIs, almost 30 homers, 30 doubles, and 800 OPS out of 500 slugging. I think Brandon Drury, and he got a Silver Slugger in 2022. I think Brandon Drury has played his way into a spring training invite. We've reached our roster limit. Okay. Bobby Dahlbeck is another guy who should probably be up. We know Bobby Dahlbeck. He hasn't played a full year since 2022 when he was awful. But in 2021, my guy was great. Incredible rookie season for Bobby. Or actually, 2020 was his rookie season because the shortened season where he was amazing. This guy looked really good. in his first few years, then fell off so hard. Terrible defender, by the way. He's a first baseman only. Josh Rojas is just Josh Rojas. Ryan Ramos, nothing special whatsoever. Colson Montgomery, probably going to make the opening day roster. Really good prospect. Nick Maton might also break camp. We probably should put him on the thing. Jacob Amaya, I'm not interested in having on there. He's going to go on waivers. Probably Brooks Baldwin as well. Yep, Brooks Baldwin's going on there. Corey Julks is certainly a guy who I'm going to have on the 40-man and up in the majors with Andrew Benintendi being so garbage. Zach DeLoach played in the bigs, didn't he? Was not good. Never mind. Robert, Michael A. Taylor, Dominic Fletcher, who is not good. He stinks. You know, Terrell Tatum could give us something. Mike Talkman. Oscar Colas should not be on the big league roster. Man, this guy stinks. Broke camp at 2023 as a great prospect and was just garbage. So yeah, who? We'll go to all and just see who's left, you know? Who deserves to be here with us in spring training. I'm going to sort by overall, of course. Bobby Dahlbeck, most likely. Corey Julks is on the 40-man. Bobby Dahlbeck should be on the 40-man. Kyle Teal, I'm going to leave off. Nick Maton should be on there. I think that's going to be it. All right, so we have 5 more 40-man roster spots to fill. I definitely want to sign some players. What's the budget looking like? $47.5 million available to spend. Certainly want to spend that. We know Jose Quintana was really good in his time with Chicago. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive years of 200 innings, 3-ish ERA. As a really young player, it was so good. And then in 2017 was also really good. They traded him to the Cubs mid-season. Very good player. Very, very good player. He's just old now. He's 36. Who the frick is Champlin Price? 75 overall. Doesn't exist. Kyle Gibson. Certainly Kyle Gibson. We're looking for an opening day starter here. Brian Sammons is a 74. How? Spencer Turnbull was very solid last year. He's somebody I could look at. Scott like who are most of these people? Lance Lynn, another White Sox legend. 2021 pitched like a Cy Young. 22 was a bit worse. 23 was god awful, and then 2024 last year was not terrible with the Cardinals. I think we're going to go Jose Quintana. He wants $11 million a year. Never mind. 8.3 for Kyle Gibson is